I was reminded today in an article that had been published by the BBC about a woman in Bristol that she's an unpaid carer, and a comment that was made by somebody that we had on our Chasing Care podcast some time ago, Helen Wynne, who pointed out that, somebody's got to pay, and the effect of people being unpaid carers and having to give up work has quite a dramatic effect. I think as spokesperson for the DWP, the Department of Work and Pensions, said something along the lines of our country would grind to a halt if we cannot rely on the millions of unpaid carers. And it brought a couple of thoughts to mind. One of them is that we've already got something like 5 million unpaid carers, which is a significant amount of carers. And if we think about the home care sector, which is the care sector is what I work in, there's only something like 950,000 people receiving professional care from care organisations. I mean, it's a big industry. There's 800,000 odd carers out there, but we're reminded there's something like 5 million people that are unpaid carers. Now, there's various ways to look at the numbers, I suppose, but at the end of the day, anybody that's an unpaid carer is providing a service that probably could be paid for by the government. But the challenge always is that the government is more interested in boosting the National Health Service, and I'm not knocking the National Health Service because we all need the National Health Service for medical interventions. But there's a number of statistics which, because I'm a little bit mad on data, driven by data, and we know that there's something like 400,000 people waiting to be assessed for care. Now, what does that mean? Well, in some ways, it might not mean a lot to a family that is going to have to pay for it. And most people don't recognise the fact that whilst the NHS medical intervention is going to be free at the point of service for your whole life, when it comes to care provision in your own home, you're only entitled to it being paid for if you're below the threshold. And the threshold currently of money that you might have available, call it liquid cash in some ways, is only £23,250. So if you've got more of that sloshing around and the local authority assesses the fact that you've got money, then you're going to have to pay for it. And that's probably the reason where another statistic comes from, that 22% of men and 33% of women aged over 55 are actually providing some form of unpaid care to a loved one. And the statistics go even deeper, in so much that allegedly something like 600 people a day, could be a week, I'm not sure, have to give up work in order to provide some form of unpaid care. So let's think about that. The numbers are getting bigger in terms of people requiring care. We're living longer. Nothing wrong with living longer. I'm looking forward to living longer myself. Unfortunately, people in the last 15 years of their life tend to have two quite serious illnesses which require some form of attention, medical intervention even, and support. So if you're not looking after yourself as you're getting older, then there's a chance that you're not going to be very well in the last part of your life. That means to say somebody probably in your family, or maybe a local authority, if you're under the £23,250 threshold, might be able to look after you. But somebody's got to do that, and somebody's got to pay for that, probably. And think about this. This is just a thing that I think about a lot, is if somebody's going to give up work, let's say 600 people are giving up work every day, every week, Who's contributing to the economy? We've already got a shortage of workers, and there's less youngsters, if we're allowed to say that, less youngsters than there will be older people as we age. So we need more money coming into the government in order to pay for basic pensions, to pay for healthcare, community care, police, social workers, fire service, lighting in the streets. So if the governments don't have that money, the chance that people are going to get the healthcare provision in the community, not medical intervention, not the NHS, the chances that you as a family are going to get support is going to diminish. We're already seeing the numbers of people waiting for care increase substantially. And local authorities are trying to find ways not to pay. Because once they are required to pay, and that's based on your financial assessment, then they have minimum standards that they must adhere to in order to make sure that you are cared for. So, health avoidance, is that what we're going to call it? Half a dozen local authorities in the UK are already saying that they are bankrupt. So, governments over the years, the Tories, they were going to put a cap on the amount of money you have to spend on care. That's gone now. The Labour government assures us at their Labour conference that they do understand care, because all the senior cabinet members seem to have either delivered care themselves or worked as a carer, so therefore they understand care. But now's the time to step up, Mr. Starmer and co, to help work out the way that we are going to support a large number of families that day to day need some form of care intervention and support. Anyway, that's my thought for the day. If you like what I'm talking about here, which is all things health and social care in the community, then please like, subscribe, follow and share, and we can grow this community moving forward. So that's it for today. See you again soon.